So we're recording and I want to welcome everybody to our second and final Tavern Talk.
Hell yeah.
Final?
This is great. Oh no, what's happening?
Final.
No.
Okay, so
across the world.
so for anybody that's just tuning in right now, what we have here, what you're looking at right now is where we will start in the trailer. Stuff has obviously been changed. There's going to be a path where the temple is. That's going to go off. But the caravan, the stream, and everything, that's what everybody's going to experience, see in the trailer. And that's kind of why I wanted to build up something. We had our first joke, Tavern Talk, and I wanted to make something. We all wanted something where everybody could kind of see, a little bit more realistically what to expect. This still isn't the engine for the game. This is something that I just kind of piecemealed together. The climbing's about what you'll experience in the game. The haptics when you ooh, look, my battery's dying. I hope everybody can see that. There's going to be haptics. If you're near a ladder, you can run your hand up and down the rungs, and you'll feel your hand pass through each one. And so, partially what we're going to do, and I know a few people have already found the palm tree. If you go over near the palm tree, and you stand really close to it, you're going to hear like a little tingling sound, kind of like change being jingled or keys being jingled. So the idea is that out in the world when you're playing, and I'm sure everybody's familiar with the Narn route from, the Elder Scrolls. So every now and then you'll be walking through the world and you'll hear this little jingly, tingly kind of sound. And it's not what you hear here. This is just kind of a filler sound. But it's going to let you know that there's a climbable object nearby. You won't see what it is. But if you get your hand there, you're going to feel that vibration. It's going to let you know that there's a secret that you can climb to. It's going to be hidden all over the world, and we're going to have that's one of the climbing features for the game. It's going to help you find hidden dungeons, hidden treasures, all the hidden stuff. It's going to utilize things like that. Some of it's going to be big, caverns, and you can tell I'm supposed to go there. Some of it's going to be little hidden things that have a little, tingaroo kind of thing to let you know where to go. Yeah.
One thing, this will be how loud this will be.
It's going to be louder than that, and it's going to have a larger radius. Probably that has a radius of 1. We'll probably have a radius of 10. We don't want it to be really easy to find it. We want it to be kind of like a surprise. Hey, what's that noise? Kind of a thing. But it's not going to be super hard. It's just it's not like a main story game element. It's just one of the little side things. So we want it to be a nice little hidden surprise.
Yeah, something for people to search for while you're exploring.
So, quick add-on to that, just for a question. Potentially, let's say you go further on, and if there's a certain stat/skill that could influence maybe the range on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I could see doing something like that. That's something that we'd have to work out later on. And we wouldn't really know exactly how far you could extend it out, but yeah, I could totally see having something that could help influence that in some way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe some sort of rangefinder ability or something like that.
Yeah, expect to see stuff in the future that'll.
Okay. Now, on to the thing with climbing. Are you going to have it to where you can hold on to something and, let's say if something's attacking you, you can swing on it with the other hand? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you'll have your full weapon UI.
Yeah, I mean, you can totally imagine being Tarzan with a sword, basically.
I was thinking more along the lines of climbing palm trees, Pirates of the Caribbean style,
or that
sword fighting while you're climbing.
What's wrong with how about climbing palm trees, Muppets Treasure Island style?
Okay. Hey, what's up?
Okay, update for those curious. I made it to the top of the friggin' thing.
Nice.
Has anybody crossed the tree yet? That one's actually.
I was about to, and I
I've
fell.
crossed the tree. That was a bit hard to do.
Oh man.
So that's the other thing that you can
Somebody
expect
can
too.
do it, just record it while you're doing it, because I cannot do it. Arthur says it's possible.
It is possible. I'll do it.
I walked across it with my hands. Is that correct? Yeah.
Say again.
I walked across it with my hands. As in I kind of climbed across it, I think.
Yeah.
This is so sketchy. I'm halfway across the tree now, and it's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys, I can't wait for you guys to see the trailer's gonna have like this. This is all. I mean, trust me. We're creating stuff that's gonna give you guys vertigo. Like,
Yeah, you want a professional climber. I'll train, dude.
No shit. Ugh, I fell.
I really feel like this Tavern Talk should have been brought to us by like Muscle Milk or something.
I mean, it doesn't help. I did a shoulder workout today, so screw you guys.
That's his excuse. That's why my arms are so tired.
Oh, dude. Oh, really? We're gonna go there?
I'm in the caravan. Are you going to have it so that your hands go through everything, or is it going to be, stop the objects a bit like?
I just don't. We weren't worrying with interactable objects this time around. It's just for the climbing itself.
Yeah.
Really, just because I wanted everybody to experience the climbing, I didn't really want to, muddy the water with anything else.
No, damn it.
Here we go. I'm going for the tree. I hope I don't fall because as the dev.
We're literally talking about like the Tarzan tree, right?
Yeah. I don't go over it either. I don't go.
I'm doing it.
Art, did you hide anything in this?
I feel like I'm gonna like hit a wall.
I forgot to hide something, but I'm gonna say I hid something, and everybody has to find it now.
It's just really.
Oh no! Hey, no.
Oh, I made it to the end.
Climb
my
to the
first
top
try.
of some. Yeah, climb to the top of something, and you'll probably find the stick man on the wall. That's what.
Maybe you actually might,
Oh my god.
or you
Hey,
won't.
this place looks
The
nice.
stick man was inside of us this whole time.
We'll have you guys climbing around like all day trying to find what's not actually there.
That's fine. I mean, I can fully sit in there for 3 hours if I can launch it.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah.
this little demo, we've spent so much time ourselves. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we were trying to make
Oh no, I fell
There,
so
you guys have had practice, not damn.
Yeah.
I'm still terrible.
Xander hates. Xander hates this stuff.
I don't do it. Yeah.
So here's something cool for you guys. I don't know if this has been said or not, but all the sound effects that are in this are Justin.
Yeah.
The water,
Yes.
the breeze, everything is Justin.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that.
I
We're gonna
traveled
have
to
to go
New
to free
Zealand.
sound.
I actually recorded this in New Zealand and Outback Australia. So these are all sounds that I recorded myself.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is going to start this fan theory about Ilysia actually being like Australia in 1,000 years or something.
Right.
Wait, so would that explain why there's all these dangerous creatures everywhere?
Right.
And one guy that kind of looks like Jesus. Hey, we found out that Justin used to model.
Yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Just like
Hell yeah.
He's the only attractive person on the dev team, apparently.
Oh, don't roast yourselves.
You guys are all beautiful.
What are you talking about?
Are the Play-Doh hands gonna make it in the live game?
Oh God.
Yeah.
We really just don't want to show really don't want to show like the actual character stuff yet until like.
Okay.
So
Well, we're
basically,
gonna
I'll
have
say
an
this. Like,
thing. Yeah.
so we've got you'll see the characters in the trailer, right? And then we'll have a Tavern Talk afterwards, like not directly after the trailer, but we'll do a Tavern Talk after everything's been released and after everything settles down, and we'll kind of go over everything that's happened through the Kickstarter, anybody. So, and I can kind of segue into something else. Oh, has anybody climbed to the seat in the caravan yet? You can do that. That's
Yes.
another hidden thing.
I've got on top of the caravan.
Oh, I see the ladder. Let me try that.
Have you?
It's not really hidden if you keep telling everyone.
Do you need CPR?
I'm so excited though.
Oh, you can still jump like the
I'm gonna
last
be the
one.
worst game developer ever. Has everybody found the secret chicken yet? Has anybody found the secret sword yet?
Yeah, I just climbed to the seat.
CPR for this? You need to be in CPR, right?
Say again?
You need to be in CPR for this?
Yeah, it's
okay.
TBR right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay!
No,
Yes
we
and no.
can't hear you. You have to speak louder.
Is that Drist? Hey, Drist, what's up, man?
So, a bit of a serious question, but I was just wondering, have you guys decided what order you're going to release the, sorry, I'm forgetting the term, the different platforms?
Oh no, not yet. I mean, because everything's kind of being worked on at the same time. So like, we can't.
I just have if you release them in all three at once, I can just see it being a disaster. Like bug reports coming from every different version, and like.
Well, so like
everyone's
obviously
having a
the easiest platform to launch for is PC, right? Like that's gonna be the easiest one. But like it doesn't mean it's the first one. So okay, so here's something. We're kind of in a place right now where there's a lot of stuff like as everybody knows, we've been really silent recently, and it's just because like a lot's been happening, but we've had to sign so many NDAs that we can't talk about too much stuff, So it's like a lot of big stuff. So what I can say is this: we've had 3 companies now reach out to us for partnership deals, marketing deals, and publishing deals.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're psyched because like this happened after the last Tavern Talks.
Nice.
They reached out to us, completely without us looking into it or anything. And so basically, like one of the things that's being talked about is that 1 or 2 of these companies are big into PSVR. So their big thing is like we want to get you guys like in GameStop, in stores with physical copies. With displays in the store and everything, so like that's awesome for us, right? Like, because we've always kind of wanted
copy just to have something.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly, dude. Here's what I would do. I would go to my local
Does that mean there
GameStop.
might be a collector's edition?
Oh man, that would be cool, right?
Dude, I want a edition.
Collector's edition. It's somewhere in the world.
Will the in-game item be the real-life item? Just be a copy of the first Tavern Talk, like Sunflower or the Sun, just like a hand-painted painting of it? Or sheep?
Oh, okay, yeah. So actually, I do want to go over that really quick. So I was gonna put the Tavern Talk weapons right now. It's two swords. The first one's the gold tier is going to be the hand-drawn sword, not the red one, but the first hand-drawn sword from the first Tavern Talk. So that's going to be one of the gold tier items.
That's
amazing. And the other one, we've got another nice release sword. I'll get those put up. I think tomorrow I can get them put up tomorrow afternoon for everybody. I'll get March put up too. I was going to put them in today, but I didn't want to put in weapons again without having something to use them on. But I also, like I said, I wanted this to be about climbing. I wanted everybody to check out the climbing and see how the climbing worked and everything.
So
we're just trying to keep them a little bit focused.
You mentioned how the gold tier guys get our special weapons. Is it only going to be swords, or is it going to be other types of weapons?
There will be other. In fact, actually, you know what?
There's already
I'll come up with something better than a sword for gold tier for
how about a shield?
Yeah, I like the idea of using the sun as a shield.
Oh, you know what? That would be cool. Yeah, let's do the sun as a shield. Okay, so February, you guys will get the sun shield and the hand-drawn sword. We'll do that for February's items.
Fuck yes, brother.
And then next month, maybe we finally give you guys a mount, maybe?
Yes. Dragon, please.
A dragon. Hand-drawn dragon. Careful what you wish for.
Oh my god.
No, art should be the mount.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Dragon with my
Just-
face on it. And it's just me. It's me looking at everybody with a really creepy look, just going, "Mount me."
You've heard of Art Crab Face. Now get ready for Dragon.
I'm gonna see if restarting my PC works for it, because I still can't launch it, sadly.
Did you try enabling beta mode on it?
Hey, Art.
Oh, yeah, that might not work. Or it could.
I use SteamVR beta, and it's working fine.
Shield and sword, would that be like a skin over your sword with stats? Or like...
Yeah, so the idea is it's like most of this stuff's going to be all transmog stuff, right? So like no matter what level you're at, no matter what class you decide to go with, what items you're using, you can transmog them over.
Okay,
yeah.
That's pretty nice.
We just don't want to give anything. We just don't want to give anything that has like levels built into it already, and give because we are going to have PvP. We don't want to give anybody an advantage over anybody else,
Right.
I'm just like,
Hey, Art.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we can hear you.
question for you. It's Druce.
Hey, Druce, what's up, dude? What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
This guy has been keeping me sane through my sickness in the past few days.
Hell yeah, Druce is a man.
I try, brother. Every time I get halfway across the vine, the one that goes between the tree and the temple, it just teleports. Yeah, over on like.
Oh yeah. That's what are you using right now? Are you using Vive or are you using?
No, Odyssey.
Oh, you're on an Odyssey. Dang, man, I need to get one of those. Send me one, and I can get all that fixed. Yeah, so like, Odyssey is mixed reality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have that Lenovo sitting there, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I just didn't test it on it. That's my bad. I forgot to test it on Windows Mixed Reality. There's a reason why my name was Bad Dev for like a month and a half.
You guys actually have one though?
I do. We've got a Lenovo. Yeah, actually, we have it. We actually have like 4 of them. I think. I'm just really bad.
Yeah,
at
remember back when they were running them on sale for like $100 on Amazon?
Yeah, you can get the Odyssey Plus right now for $230.
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't that thing have like better resolution than the other headsets that are out?
It's honestly one of the best headsets on the market right now.
In case Oculus or HTC wants to give us money.
Yeah.
I had one. I gave it to a programmer that's no longer.
I think it's Windows Mixed Reality.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was AFK for like half the beginning of this, I guess. But so in the game, am I gonna have like a physical body, like
yes,
that I can see?
Yeah. We just haven't done it for these yet because we're just keeping that all special and a surprise for everybody.
Okay. And then is there gonna be like proximity voice chat?
Yes.
And like PvP, world PvP?
Yeah, there is.
And are there going to be dedicated servers for like people who don't want to do that?
Well, it's opt-in PvP.
Oh, opt-in? Alright,
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. Yeah.
If I opt in...
Whatever
can we
sounds
kill
good to
other
you
opt-in?
is exactly what it is.
Oh, you know,
You basically have to find yourself.
you know, I always want to try being a god, dude, but
You can have that.
I don't think you're gonna
$1,000 and I'll make you a naughty, naughty god.
Don't challenge me, dude, otherwise you're gonna see something big at Kickstarter.
I'm back.
There he is.
Take off people's clothes.
Good news. Apparently, restarting my PC did work.
That's great.
Nice.
Listen to the IT guys.
A art.
Is this
The joke's on him, he's gonna get in, and it's the same Tavern Talk from last time.
so the big door that we see when we like climb the thing?
What was that?
Swimming across these vines is annoying.
Oh, the big door? Yeah, that's gonna
It's
be an
really
actual...
satisfying. though,
Like, I wanted to like ask about it, because like, is that gonna be like the door you open like when you want to go to like a separate like loaded area? Is that gonna be like a dungeon door, or is that gonna be just like one that'll like open up?
So for us, loaded areas are just dungeons. So when you go into a dungeon, there's not going to be any more loading into anything else. And the reason we're doing dungeons as loaded areas is so that we can have different gameplay mechanics in it that would work differently in the world, like
Alright.
in the normal world, you know.
That's a lot of information. All right.
That's gonna be pretty great.
Hey, so I have a question about the jump mechanic.
It will not be in the game.
Well, this jump,
Well, there you
this
go.
terrible jump. Well,
This one won't be.
It works. It's not awful, but it's not.
Wait, there's a jump? Yeah, it's Climby's jump mechanic, basically.
I love it. There's a jump.
It's like Climby. You have to use your grip buttons and like pull and then let go.
Oh, let go.
Yeah.
We were just kind of messing around with different like movement types, and I'm basically working on like all that old stuff that we had been messing with originally.
I actually, not to like sound like a WoW nerd, but this kind of reminds me of like Heroic Leap for like warriors, and it feels kind of nice.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
The only thing is you can currently change direction midair.
Ooh.
That's just acrobatics, man.
Let me try it. Oh no, that is not making.
Room scale, man. I hate to dive to the side while you're jumping.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, just stop stating my
So-
Oculus Rift.
You said you want people to like
fix my-
make parties. You want people to make parties at like taverns and such. Is there any like perks to meeting at a tavern in particular? Like, do you get better health for drinking at a tavern or something?
Not dying.
Maybe. Not dying.
Right now, there's no like XP bonus or anything like that.
Right.
I mean,
Like really, just the idea is like it makes the game easier, right? So you know you team up with a bunch of people and you're able to take down a bigger boss easier or
Well, there's
take into a
definitely not
dungeon
falling
easier.
damage.
Yeah.
Will there be a sneak mechanic?
a sneak mechanic. We're gonna. I can neither confirm nor deny, but
okay, so that's something else too. So basically, like, we're trying not to say too much before the Kickstarter because, like, the Kickstarter, like, everything's going to be sold, right? Like everybody's going to know everything once we launch that.
Right.
You know, our gameplay trailer is not only going to show a lot, but we're also going to have basically like a video of Xander and I just kind of showing off some of the stuff that we've been working on for the past. I mean, once again, we've been real quiet because we've just been like, I'll put it this way. We started with, you know, the basic game that we knew we wanted, and now we have so much more than we thought we were going to be able to give you guys at launch.
Yeah.
So my
Pretty
biggest
exciting.
like thing is like there's going to be separate like deviation for like class, like so there are going to be like tanks, there's going to be DPS, and going to be like specific like healer like weapons and such throughout the game.
Yeah. Well, we're keeping it open class because last Tavern Talk, people asked about it, and it seemed like the general consensus was that everybody wanted more of an open class system, and us not to divide it up, which I mean kind of works for us because that's how we're building it anyway. But like we're open to doing like a pushed update where everybody now has to create like a specific class character.
Yeah, I was just asking, so for like instances like dungeons and such, like if like tanking is going to be necessary or if healing is going to be necessary.
I also have another question for you, if you don't mind. Like, what are you expecting to show in the gameplay trailer? I guess.
Many things.
Nothing. Sorry, we literally that is something we definitely can't talk about. Just really because like it's gonna be like it's.
We want to blow
That's
y'all
a big
away.
build-up point.
Yeah, we want to blow y'all away.
Really, that's what it is. Like,
You're gonna see how it is actually
last time.
in the gameplay.
Will be happening in like the next 2 weeks.
And then for the kick, then for like the kicks, and then like what the Tavern Talk is in right now. What we're in right now playing, is this kind of like how the game will look? Or will it look?
Yes, this is pretty close. There are still some visual things that are being changed up and reworked, but it's pretty close.
And it's beautiful.
You have fauna.
Yeah. Yes, there will be.
What are you guys thinking about for?
We'd actually talked about having some in this little thing right here, but like I said, I didn't want to like muddle it up with a bunch of stuff. Like, it's really just a time thing because the you know when we work on the Tavern Talk stuff, we're not working on It's like I said, the big driver for us is because we had 3 companies reach out to us. It became, them telling us as soon as you can get some sort of gameplay that they can demo. A gameplay trailer, and then like a 1-page write-up to be able to basically like sell us to them, right?
Yeah.
Even though so that's them. So that's kind of I'm losing my words right now. So that's kind of what we're doing right now is we're trying to get all that together for them so we can get that shown out. But we didn't want to go another month. We didn't want to go this month without doing a Tavern Talk for you guys.
And I don't know if I asked, but is what's your like ETA on the gameplay trailer release?
Still aiming for like the end of March, but it could be. I mean, we're still aiming for that, and hopefully it's going to be that.
Is that when you are planning to start the Kickstarter as well around that?
Yeah, we're trying to line up them both.
I have a
up at the same
question.
time.
Yeah, of course.
Is this going to be more of like a Western MMO or like a Far Eastern MMO?
Yeah, it's more Western. So.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like, what's the difference between Eastern and Western?
Like
for us, it's the look.
Like
I don't know what
Japanese
he's asking, but for us, it's
or
the look.
Korean.
It's also playstyle. Big
I
group
guess,
efforts that benefit one person is more of an Eastern thing versus people kind of being able to do their own thing. That's more Western.
Yeah. Now with the graphics wise, is it going to be similar between Link and Quest? Because I bought the Quest because there was going to be Oculus Link, so I can kind of have both the Rift and Quest. Yeah. So will
We're basically like what we're doing is we're making sure that graphics are whatever the headset asks you to be. Oculus says what 75 for the Quest and the Rift S.
Something like that.
I think so.
We're trying to keep graphics similar between all of them, which is what influenced a lot of the style and everything. I mean, because we've gone many different iterations. I mean, keep in mind, Quest is at this point like a 3-year-old mobile phone processor, so there is going to be like draw distance limitations.
Well, yeah.
Wow. And
will we be able to adjust the graphic settings on the Quest? Because a lot of games on Quest don't allow you to pick and choose if you want it to run shittier but better, or vice versa. Run better.
I mean, I could. I'm doing it for the PC anyway, so it's like less foliage or something with higher draw quality. I can set that up.
Yeah, we could do that. Like, let people choose if they want a farther draw distance and less detail. Like, yeah, we could probably do something like that.
Can I make a humble request on behalf of WMR users?
Yeah. Test it more.
Seriously,
a guild limit, like player limit?
Guild.
We kind of toss the idea around, but like, it's so up in the air for us right now.
Oh, this could be different tiers.
Will the quest? Hang on, let me put up how many members my guild's got at the moment, and it's getting we're getting more members every time someone joins, at least.
Can you tell us about like how the stat system will work at all?
Xander?
Gear-driven stats, and then you'll get experience towards different abilities, and that's gonna.
Are there gonna be like unique items, or rare, really rare?
Oh yeah.
Like game-changing items.
It would be a terrible MMO if you didn't have that.
Yes.
Like
what about like
but not like WoW, how they did it in Legion, where everybody gets a Doom Hammer.
No.
I don't think anybody liked Legion, so.
Right.
I enjoyed Legion except for that part.
Okay,
Right.
I love Mythic Plus and Legion, which sort of leads me into: is there going to be varying difficulty for like instanced content?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
Like,
was a great idea. Let me
like
just say.
shard dungeons and
If you
stuff.
guys had something like that, that'd be great.
Yeah. We like that too.
So may I make a technical request on behalf of WMR users?
Yeah.
So if the headset renders out to be WMR, can you disable the touchpads and instead enable the thumbsticks?
Yeah. That was a discussion we had about 20 minutes before we started the chat. Xander's like, "Hey, did you remember to enable the thumbsticks?" And I said, "I did not remember to enable the thumbsticks."
Like they're just hot garbage on WMR. Just don't even bother.
Yeah, they really are.
I forgot how small they were.
The problem
really
is that
weird
a lot
in
of controls just default to touchpad, which is why almost every game just uses them.
Right.
And then you have to set up stuff and set an instance for it. So like we have that in our actual game engine, of course, but like these side things, I need to send out a version of that.
I need to get it up. See, this is what the real issue is. I can download it maybe 0.05 megabytes a second, maybe.
Oh.
And then if I download anything too much, then my internet gets kicked off and disabled. So that's why I've been working on this older version, and I basically just build world stuff and then just ship it off like to Xander.
Okay.
By the way, how is index support gonna be?
Say again?
Index support.
Will this climb?
Valve Index.
Like
there's going to be index support in the game. I think it has the same issue with Windows Mixed Reality. Actually, I'll turn on my controller.
The track.
Xander, do you have an index?
I don't have the headset. I just have the controller.
We have like a dozen controllers.
Right on.
Yeah.
Because they sent us a bunch of those, but not the actual headset.
That's funny.
Dicks.
Can I get some hamburger helper gloves?
I think people
I want
should
myself
really
some hamburger helpers, bro.
people really need to save their opinions till like the Kickstarter comes out because we haven't even seen the game yet.
And then
No
then
hamburger helpers?
I got like 2 more questions.
And it's kind of the downside of doing Tavern Talk before we actually have like gameplay.
Yeah,
out.
like we're always really kind of off about it because
more
man, this isn't like a good representation, and people are gonna like everybody kind of asking like, oh, so is this the grass? So is this is this that? And it's like, well, not like okay, so like the way the area looks, like the way it's like very much like this old temple, like in this woods with the caravan. Like this is how you'll arrive in a dungeon, right?
So dungeons are like part of the main world. Like you travel to them. Or like
it's all there's different ways to get to them.
They're instance based.
One of the ways you can get there is like just you would one of the proposed ways is of choosing something having something in your caravan that you say go there or you just choose it and there's like a little event thing happens and then you're in the caravan and it takes you there, something like that. But it will be a load scene. So that's kind of the idea, is like the caravan could help, like, you enter the caravan, it loads, and then it loads to taking you to the dungeon or something.
Yeah.
Is it going to be like semi-open world?
Well, the dungeons are massive. Like, the dungeons are going to be like the size of like the.
But dungeons are going to be linear as dungeons are.
Right, and it is right, but it's still but it's going to be like a small world almost. Like,
I
was just wondering about the world outside of the dungeons, actually.
I played one in there where the dungeons you have portals, but most of it's open world. Like, you explore and find the portals.
I did it.
I have one question about that.
The world itself is 12K squared. I don't know if we've said that already. Well, I don't
know. You might have. I was.
Okay.
I mean, in the last one he said it, not this one.
Okay. And somebody had a question. Who was trying to ask a question?
I'm not sure if Art is here. So, yeah.
I was gonna ask, so like when the final build of the game comes in, is it gonna be mostly set into like what it is, or y'all gonna add dungeons maybe later on?
Well, so like part of the idea about making the world so big is that we can add on to it later, we can expand, we can change stuff,
Yeah.
Like the world, to us, the world, like we basically have like a 5-year plan for Ilysia, right?
Okay.
5 years.
Yeah. So like the planet, we have like so much laid out, I guess, so Xander, do you care if I tell a little bit about the backstory to the game?
No, I mean, I think if you guys want to hear about it,
yeah, if you guys are interested at all, kind of like some of the lead up.
Yeah. Yep.
Do it.
Okay, so with Ilysia, there's 2 worlds, right? There's Lagina and there's Ilysia. Lagina and Ilysia are like sister worlds. Lagina is where the humans originated from. Ilysia is the world where you have like orcs and elves and all the other races, right? So the humans learned how to like twist magic to like create machinery and just basically they sucked all the mana from their planet. They killed all their gods. They so what happened is like after running through all their resources, they open this they make this massive portal that leads into Ilysia.
Wait a second.
The portal comes to the area where. Say again? Yes, this is lore.
If someone get out a notebook.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess I don't have this anywhere yet. Yeah, anyway, okay, so humans come to Ilysia, they start this massive war. They start so the worlds, Lagina and Ilysia both have elder gods, right? These gods that are gods, like you have elder gods, you have lesser gods. Lesser gods, in fact, you're going to see a lesser god in the trailer, so that's kind of a thing right there for you. So, when you see, lesser gods are going to be everywhere in the world, gods are going to be in the world, gods are also going to be in the dungeons, you're going to have different experiences with them in this game. You're going to be fighting them. These things are massive. These things are going to be very intimidating. So,
we're going to be seeing Xander then, huh?
No, just like the Discord server, you won't see Xander anywhere in any of this at any point. Say again?
Is there gonna be support for mod?
Most likely not. I mean, most MMOs don't support it. I'm trying to figure out if you guys really want to hear the backstory. If you guys are just trying
to... Why would I not?
Keep talking, brother. Keep talking.
Okay, humans open a portal in Lagina. The way they do this is they slaughter a god over this portal to open this massive portal. So basically, everything the humans do is based on forcing magic and mana and life force from the gods and from the planets to make their machinery, their magic,
we're the bad guys.
Works, right? So that's how humans come to Ilysia. Now what happens is that when they come to this area in Ilysia, because Ilysia is the world, Ilysia is not just the map that you'll see when you first join the game, right? These areas are going to have names and everything, and just stuff we're not giving out yet because it is part of the story, like the game story, and there's stuff that needs to be discovered. But this is all going to be known, right? Say hello to the little kid for me.
Hey, kid.
Hi.
Sorry,
that's John's very interested. Hi. So humans come to Ilysia. the first thing that they discover is that the first thing they do is they lay waste to the forest that they come to. They start building siege engines. They bring some of the gods through with them. They use these gods to go to war with all these. So basically, like what happens is there's a huge war.
There's a redeeming factor for the humans. Then why would I want to play as a human if they're just?
So here's the thing. This is the thing. Ilysia, the game Ilysia, is about the redemption of the human race, right? So like, what happens is that the humans cause all this death and destruction. And this isn't the only race you can play as. This is just the story that we have so far. So the humans cause all this death and destruction, this huge war. And as they're being pushed back through their portal, the Legianans close the portal down, locking these humans on this side of the world. The game takes place 600 years later when the barrier around the humans' enclosure is finally lowered to let them out into the world to be trusted again. And now what you have to do is you have to go and the humans, part of the quest lines are going to be cleaning the corruption from the world, destroying some of the war machines that were left behind by the humans that have still been ravaging the world. That's all like a lot of the story is going to be humans atoning for what they've done.
It's pretty much current
Humans
day
are Khajiits.
society.
Yeah,
I'm trying to prove that our ancestors.
I'm gonna be honest here.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That is an amazing backstory for the game. Although I've watched way too much anime and it kind of sounds like the beginning of Gate.
The beauty is I have literally stopped watching and playing all games specifically so I never have to worry about going, oh yeah, I know what that is.
I think there's a lot of allegory to real life stuff in that.
And that's what it is. That's a lot of what that is just trying to use a lot of, pulling from, like, okay, so, like, one of the things that made Game of Thrones amazing was that it was basically War of the Roses, right? So, like, a lot of what we're looking at is, like, the invasion of settlers into Native America or into North America, South America, Africa.
Australia.
A lot of that is what we're kind of, Australia, yeah, exactly.
Leave Australia out of this.
Are the humans going to have to pay a reparation tax on all this?
Is there some kind of like in-game racism against humans?
And that's kind of okay. So that's going to be the thing. So once again, this is like 600 years later, right? So like it's kind of like old history. But what you have is races that have never seen a human because the barrier was put up to keep them from leaving this area. This whole
like Australia.
Are you saying I can write off my taxes in this game? I can.
That's our plan.
Do you have to roll a human at the beginning, or do you get to choose a couple?
No.
So do different races start in different areas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, terrible MMO if we didn't do that.
Obviously, the different races would start in different areas because different starting ideas. But do the stories change depending on which race you play as? Like, do you have to do a certain quest feeling a certain way towards humans?
So they are going to converge at a point. But once again, without going into too much detail because we don't want to ruin anything, there's a reason why. And you might be able to parse it out knowing what you already know now, right? So
can I be a human and be evil though, and not,
Can you be a human and be good? What you should be.
I don't want to atone for my good deeds. I want to continue.
I got 2 questions before I have to leave. So, what will there'll be in like an official release on like the Oculus Store and like all the stores, or will it have to be like side downloaded?
It's gonna be official.
Okay, and then I know you haven't even got past the gameplay trailer, but if you were to take a decent estimate, what would you think on a certain date for like the start of like the alpha? If you were to give a decent guess.
Man, I really okay, I can say this. Like a month and a half ago, I could have said alpha will be like May or June, but now with everything we're doing, some stuff's getting we've got a lot we're working on now, and a lot we're trying to implement now. But we're and the way we approach the game design, the way we approach building this game is we come up with a little thing that we want to add to the game, and we make sure that it's as good as we can get it before we add it, right? That's how we're treating everything. Yeah. So I can't really give a good idea. Soon TM, basically.
We want to get it out.
Would you like guess like later, like about like August, maybe like later in the year, like Q3, Q4?
The only problem with saying anything like that is just like then somebody, like somebody the other day in Discord was like, "Hey, back in September you said a trailer was coming. Where's that trailer?" And it's like, well,
I get that.
That was a different engine, so I mean, it'll be coming like around the mountain when she comes, like.
And really, we want to get the game out. This is not a hobby for us. You know what I mean? So we're not just going,
You guys want to get paid.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, so like part of it, I will say, like, you could say one thing that's like a detriment to us is the fact that we're perfectionists to a point.
Yeah.
Like we really don't want to. Yeah, except for Tavern Talks. Do not judge us based on Tavern Talks.
A lot of us
But I
can
mean,
say that we've
but you're going to. I mean, you're going to. So I mean, and it's understandable. You're going to see.
Listen, I'll judge you. I'll judge you based on the Kickstarter only.
Okay.
Kickstarter is going to be amazing. Like I've been putting so much effort into. I spend so much time at my day job pouring over successful, unsuccessful Kickstarters, writing down everything that looks like it made a big success, coming up with tons of great artwork. Like we have like a complete strategy about how we're going to run this thing.
That's awesome.
Which I mean everybody does. I mean that's kind of a vague thing to say, but Sorry, say again.
Do you know how long the Kickstarter is planned to run for?
30 days.
Right.
So, you guys seem like pretty active devs in the community, with these Tavern Talks and everything like that. Are y'all gonna try to do like events in game for like holidays and stuff?
Oh yeah, dude! Like we weren't even talking about like how fun it would be if one of us was Santa Claus giving out gifts in a tavern. And everybody was like, "Oh, so and so dev is over in this tavern giving out specialty weapons. Hurry before he leaves or something,"
Or like you could do like something like something cool.
Okay, actually, you know what? No. Here's one thing I'll say.
Hamburger helper gloves.
I mean,
Dragon with the Santa hat.
Hold on, Xander.
Do like a big.
I'm playing a game.
You remember the one idea we had?
Say hamburger helper game, like gloves.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about how to.
What's the time to kill? Do you think on like PvP?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Like how long? Because I played Orbis VR, for instance, and I'm like trying to do PvP with someone at my own level.
Oh, right.
And like it was taking like 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, it
no,
depend on their gear and stats.
Like, well, I mean, even then, like the thing with fighting in VR is, it needs to be like fighting in real life. Like for me, anyway, when it comes to PvP, and this isn't anything set in stone. To me, in PvP,
you saying I could curb stomp people?
Well, I mean, but to me, like it should only be like 3 to 4 hits at most to kill somebody if you can land a hit correctly, right? Like if you can hit somebody in the head, why should you have to hit them in the head 20 times? I mean, if you can hit them in the head and they have no armor, I mean, that's a fatal blow in real life. It should be a fatal blow in VR. Like,
but there's gonna be different types of PvP.
And if you have stats or something, it changes that a bit, though. But
maybe like the more you level up, the more unrealistic your character is. Like,
okay,
like you become a
it
god.
sounds.
It's not.
Are you saying I could be the main character?
Equalized stat PvP, kind of like how Guild Wars 2 does their PvP system.
Oh yeah. That's good. Xander's been looking a lot at Guild Wars 2 recently.
Yeah, I really like Guild Wars 2. It's one of my
I kind of like Guild Wars.
I like a lot of Western shows. I play Final Fantasy 14 a lot too. I mean, I'm trying to draw like the stuff I like.
Just the PvP system in that game alone is like enough to keep somebody preoccupied hours, because like they have the
that's kind of like we're trying to come up with a good PvP system that'll do the same because we can't launch with a full story, full quest line. I mean, we've got to launch with
a lot of side stuff.
A lot of side stuff, but not boring side stuff. Not like sit on this rock and meditate for 6 hours and get 1,000 XP. Like,
yeah, I'm doing it.
I mean, it's there if you want to know.
That's it. I want my money back.
Hold on. Real quick.
Wait. There's
How
a
extensive is
meditation
character
rock?
customization going to be?
Xander.
Like at all?
I love how you go to Xander.
Oh man, it's just.
I'm interested.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well,
so,
because I get excited and I want to say a bunch of shit. Xander's kind of my serious go-to guy. Like, I pass the ball to him and say, "Hey, how much do we want to dunk this ball? None? Okay, cool."
Okay, so it started out with like kind of like the world being the limit, and then it just kind of got kind of unrealistic. I don't know, man. Like, like you're definitely going to be able to like change a little bit of stuff. I'm trying to at least do more like facial stuff so everybody can kind of look like them, or however they.
Honestly,
have you like?
There's
So you know the Destiny 2 and like Destiny 1 shader system?
Yeah.
Have you ever looked into that? Because I think that would be interesting. Although I don't know how the gear looks, so of course I can't really say. But...
Yeah, and you know, kind of
just like Destiny 2.
So the character creation is kind of tied in with our character system, and also like I would consider our graphics and everything like that. We've there's a balance point because like Oculus Quest has a 4 gig limit with data, unless we just side loaded on my ideas. But
honestly, though, if you're talking about like the character customization stuff, like. I don't even pay attention to like facial features.
Yeah, I
like,
think it's a ton
nose
less
choice
important
or
than actual
anything
game
like
mechanics.
that.
I disagree. I like character customization.
If you have like
a lot.
30 or 40 different face presets to choose from, and you don't have to do a lot of work for that, and it's like.
Well, you know, I've played the new like Orbis Reborn. I haven't played a lot, but I noticed that they added like at least like some simple sliders and stuff, and I thought, you know, that's pretty good. That should kind of be like a minimum standard, I think.
I agree.
And so yeah, and we're trying to keep the gear kind of unisex and everything kind of open. So
male chainmail bikini.
Yep.
You gotta air out your. Never mind.
I know it's trending in VR games for like no arms and no legs.
No, the reason why this game is taking so long is because we're doing full body IK.
So
That's
one
and
question
it
is like
not easy.
Like literally, that has taken the longest over anything else.
No.
It's just trying to get full body IK.
And not just having it, but having it as good as it can be. Like.
It's the alternative is playing Wii Sports in VR.
Dude, Wii Sports is nuts. Don't diss my Wii Sports.
Real question though, real question. What do you think about Blade and Sorcery's character customization?
None of us have played that.
It's not very extensive yet.
It's not very extensive, but it allows a lot of individuality.
Also, please keep in mind that
Yeah, you could be like male or female.
right, but what we released
And like have hair in it.
She can be male or female, that's true.
Yeah, but what we released with what the final.
Sorry, is somebody trying to talk? I can't hear her very well.
Hey, Mom, you sound like you're 1,000 miles away.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, what I was going to say is that what we're going to release with is not going to be, okay, we're done now. But like Xander says, we have to balance it because who wants to play a game that crashes? Nobody. Who wants to play something that lags? Nobody. And so there's that balance.
Yeah, so not a No Man's Sky.
Okay, no, wait. Hey, they redeemed themselves?
Exactly, but you were just talking about how you don't want to start off terribly. That's exactly what No Man's Sky is.
They redeemed themselves, but I still sold the game.
Well, No Man's Sky lied about having multiplayer at the start. I don't think.
Okay, well, I guess that's kind of why it started bad, but they also started bad because the game just...
So what you're saying is we shouldn't let people try and find each other in Ilysia so we can keep the lie going.
No Man's Sky.
No, what you don't understand is they're both wearing invisibility cloaks they can't take off. I guarantee you they're sitting right next to each other.
You just advertise it as VR MMO and just put a little asterisk after the MMO and say it's optional.
Ilysia.
I know that y'all said that they wanted the open class system, but what about the like side professions? Are you going to be limited to your side professions as well, or is that going to be open as well? Because like
it's going to be pretty open.
Yeah, that aspect of it's going to be pretty open.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, really, the whole thing, like that's the thing is the whole thing is going to be really open. Like
so
we really like, so you're going to be able to have multiple characters to choose from. Like you can create multiple characters as long as Xander approves that. But like to us, like I hope I just said that and his face just turned super red and he just like punched a hole in his wall.
I have like a suggestion, I guess. Have you guys played Arcade at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was this the class system in that game where it has like a bunch of skills and stuff, and you can. Is there going to be like a bunch of skills to choose from, or is it going to be like Orbis, where you just have like 3 unlocked from the start?
It's not going to be like Orbis.
I thought it was going to be like Skyrim.
Yeah, I like Arcade as well. That's a really good system.
I mean, everybody's just
I'll try
at this point, but
no, it's not designed like Orbis, because I do like.
We have bodies.
Well, no, but you can actually pursue, kind of like more like Skyrim and or similar to Final Fantasy 14. You could kind of swap weapon class.
I like the sound of the skills being like Skyrim, though. That sounds cool.
I was curious with the races, the different races you can play in the game. Obviously, you guys didn't want to talk too much about how many there are, but will there be different characteristics that each race has over another one? Like, say, the elves have more magic, the orcs have more strength, that type of thing.
Yeah. There'll be advantages and disadvantages to each race.
That's very cool.
Just trying to keep it pretty realistic for like a normal MMO stuff. Because really, like, I'm looking at VR games as far as control and like minimum standards, but then I'm looking at like actual games that I've played that are not MMOs that have yet to have like some MMO iteration for like actual feature integrations and real gameplay mechanics. So races to me is just a given. Like, you have to have it so that they're different in some way besides look. Otherwise, there's really no point of even having them. Besides just playing a different intro, I guess.
Yep.
I've got a question for you.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Non-combat gameplay. What have you guys got for? I know from reading for the bits you've got exploration, all that kind of stuff, but I was thinking of the harvesting, crafting, playing on the markets, and just, things like in the Final Fantasy where you'd have like sub-games to actually play like cards or something. Is anything like that planned for it?
Oh yeah, dude! I think you guys are gonna like what we showed for that.
I don't know who that is that's talking right now, but they have the best voice, and we need to get them as a character or something.
I'm
We also
get
need
a
to
Canvas on
purchase them a
Discord.
mic.
Who are you?
Get a Canvas on Discord.
Oh, you have a great voice, dude.
Thank you very much.
I agree.
And a really good mic.
If you want me to, I'll help you out. But
From the UK.
well, since how your history seems to be the British Empire, how we stormed across the world. I'll be the bad guy, sure.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Speak
I was
about
thinking more
talking
along,
about
like-
sweating at your desk.
Gosh.
This is all hitting
You were
groups.
getting
Close to
British
home.
Empire vibes. I was thinking more of like a Nazi Germany kind of thing.
Becomes the Australians.
I can just imagine him just
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
there twiddling with a mustache and just laughing evilly.
I wanted to expand on the question about difficulty modes for raids and stuff.
And I want you not to.
Are they just going to be increased in health, just meat bags, or are we actually going to have some...
No, that's boring. That's so boring. That is so boring.
There's going to be variants and different.
You just
Yeah.
insulted
God.
the Anthem devs, dude.
Can I
I
tell
think
you
the Anthem devs insulted themselves.
about raid mechanics in VR? Like telegraph mechanics in VR, where there's like a spot on the ground where that lights up. Those are terrible, and you just can't see them.
So you're telling me you don't want to hear 30 people screaming, "Don't stand in the fire! Don't stand in the fire! Don't stand in the fire!"
Well, like if I'm the tank, for instance, and I'm like, I can't really look around and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have considered that when designing boss fights, and so it's going to be a lot easier to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be visual, but it's going to be very easy to see. Like, you're not going to have to
I
look
also
directly
hate,
down.
especially in VR, like looking down at your feet to see your actual position, because it's a lot harder than like a third-person game where you can actually control your character and see exactly what you're at. So yeah, I completely agree, and I have to take that into consideration. So like an easy solution, for instance, is more like a
Giant
cone.
red flashing letters.
Well, like a cone in front of you instead of just a circle on the ground.
Yeah.
So so there's a physical barrier that you see. So that's that's just like a simple for one of them, and then there's just more obvious.
If there was a thing that told
Environmental
you to move when you were standing in something, that would be great. screen indicator, like. Yeah, like in WoW, there's an add-on that you can download. But,
Yeah.
I was about to say it.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
and everybody uses it, so it's clearly like good. But and like
that kind of brings up like, is there gonna be the ability for like add-ons in this game? I know they would be like.
That would we haven't even given that any thought, but if we ever did, it would definitely be further down the line.
All right.
I mean, we definitely wouldn't. So that's the thing is like, so we like a lot of the stuff you guys have talked about with us since the last Tavern Talks, like it's actually influenced the direction of the game right now. So like, if there's ever a time where you guys like, hey, like this is trash, we're not just going to be like, no, it's not because we made it. We'll be like, okay, well, let's go back and look at it because obviously people aren't liking it and we'll change it. You know, like.
Yeah.
You know, our
API
future is
fan
based on everybody enjoying the game, so we have to, you know, keep that mentality through all this process.
I have a question about like the social features of the game. Because like, you know, I don't always just like to go and kill fake enemies. You know, like, is there gonna be like, I guess one example would be like the ability to like watch a video with somebody else or something.
Yeah. Like that, so
that'd
that's
be,
basically like what Xander and Mom love about about MMOs is like the like complete social interaction. Like they love that, so that's definitely a planned thing for us.
This is a great part of VR chat is watching videos with other people.
Yeah. There's gonna. I think you'll have a lot of fun with social interactions. There's gonna be a lot more features for that. There's gonna be ways to get experience while doing social interactive stuff. So yeah, there's going to be a whole big.
Is emotes? Sorry, I've heard a couple of people say now. Is emotes something that you guys would be interested in having in the game?
Yes.
I'm honestly making a joke about it, but I don't know if I don't really care.
You should have to actually pose your body for attack.
Yeah, I think to like do anything.
You can select some, kind of like in VR
Well, how am I
chat, where you select some from a
supposed to,
menu,
like-
and then your character will do it without you having to do it yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that I was thinking, like an animation trigger event or like particle effect, kind of like Rec Room. Yeah.
Oh, the one bit I really loved in Orbis was the actual magical spells, casting them with actually your hand, rather than just selecting them from a menu system.
There's a lot of different ways you're going to be doing magic in this game. We've come up with some like.
Currently, we have about 3 different ways to do magic. They may end up getting condensed down. But yeah, I mean, I like the way Orbis does it. I think I have a little bit better solution. Maybe we'll see how it actually works out. As far as consistently casting something this round.
Orbis, though, I really don't like the rune mage thing. I don't like how you have to draw the symbols because it's hard.
Yeah, and there's people that love it. And there's
I was about to say, you just heard it. You just heard like one person say, "I love it," another person like, "I can't stand it."
Yeah, but I just don't
that's
think
why
it's
we have
video
like different
game
ideas
difficult
for
to
it.
do
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
not everybody can draw something. Like some people have disabilities.
Which is why we're going to have different types of magic classes.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about the different types of magic,
I want to be doing Naruto signs.
when you're talking about the different types of magic, is there going to be the ability to be a magician and be any of the different classes like healer, support, tank, or is it just going to be if you're a magic user you have to be a certain type?
So it's going to be kind of an open system, and you're going to be able to mix and match different things to do different types of builds that you want. So you'll have different skills. But yeah, I mean, everything is still kind of revolving around DPS, healer, and tank. As far as like all of the official build outs that we have when we're writing the skill loads and the weapons and armament stuff, it's all just based around the Trinity, and then you can mix and match based off that.
Go ahead.
Microtransactions, right? Or what's the deal with that?
Okay, so there's no pay to win, but we are going to have an in-game store with cosmetic items.
Hamburger helper gloves.
You'll never have to buy any of them, but if you want to help us, you
like
can.
Overwatch, and Fortnite and all that.
Like Apex Legends. Well, okay, let me just say, Season 1 Apex Legends, it was only the coins and all that to get
loot boxes or just item shop.
No loot boxes.
Are you saying there's going to be a battle pass?
Yeah.
That'd be cool if there was a battle pass, I think.
I mean, if we did it in a non-scammy way, because that's the thing is, we don't want this to come up like, like we're money grubbing or anything, but
Yeah,
we've
don't
got to
call
keep.
it a battle pass for sure.
We got to, yeah, exactly. It's a slot machine for clothing.
Well, yeah, and if
but
it-
it's not
it
gambling.
sounds like you guys are gonna be like releasing content on like a seasonal schedule.
Oh God, yes, yeah. Or
So-
you know, on a whim sometimes even. Like, hey, look at this.
Yeah,
You know,
that-
let's get this out for whatever reason.
I would gladly pay money for seasonal.
I will
cosmetics.
personally pay you to get me hamburger helper gloves.
That's not a bad idea. Those are
March items, hamburger helper gloves.
Right
And then
down,
just
right
like
down.
this little guy that just makes this like ho ho kind of noise every time you like wrap stuff.
Oh, that would get so annoying.
Every time you grab a person.
Are there any benefits to being a veteran aside from just like playing game experience?
Yes, yeah, we've got we don't have anything set in stone yet, but we do have like I don't want to be like we're planning to do stuff for you guys, but like we do like once we can kind of sit down and kind of figure something out better for everybody that's been backing us since the beginning. We're trying to do more than just items for everybody. You know, we're trying to come up with like a really good, you know, thank you for supporting us since day one kind of a thing.
And if you guys have
That's actually a good question.
Yeah, if you guys have any ideas, like if you guys have any ideas, anything, you know.
Hey, are we gonna be able to fly around?
I actually have another
I want a custom colored name.
Art, you promised
Oh,
me
that would be awesome.
if in,
yeah,
if in
everybody would
Kickstarter
know.
I donate 1,000, you're gonna give me the title God. The
Be like,
naughty
oh,
God.
my name's Purple. I'm more
Sure.
naughty than you.
You will?
Sure. I don't care. For
I've got a
$1,000?
I don't even.
What is it to give somebody a title? Xander, you know, I don't, so I'm going to say sure.
Colored names. Colored names.
I've got a
Xander,
question.
Create a title system and then make it
I have
like
a purple name. I'm more
unique
money
title.
than you. Loser.
Serious question, you
Just
guys,
put, like
about the
veteran
veterans.
below your username.
Oh God, then you better give me the name of Toll.
Fine, some guy said serious question. Let's listen to him.
Yep, about the veterans thing. We're gonna have some of us which are gonna be playing for a long time, so we're gonna have like really meaty and stuff. But we're gonna have newbies starting the game all the time. So how are we gonna make it so that the newbies and the veterans can actually play together? So you know, to keep things fresh all the time.
Oh, alcohol. Just wipe your memories completely.
I think there's something to be said about like hardcore MMO where veterans, like new players, have to level up.
Well, see, okay, so
Yeah,
that's
I
going to
think
be
it's
kind of
like
the part
just
of.
get good, lol.
Ooh, excuse me. So this is part of the thing where y'all's feedback comes in handy. Is, you know, if we can't think of a good way to help keep it fresh for you guys, maybe you can. You know.
What about what if you did it?
It wasn't
so
so
that,
much about keeping it fresh. It was more about the power differences. So, for instance, if we want to go to a newbie zone with the new people, we'll just slaughter everything.
Oh wait,
But
wait, no.
we can't take them to the veteran areas either because they'll just get slaughtered. So, it's
I
just-
I have an actual idea. So
I get what you're saying.
Have any of y'all played like D2 raids? Destiny 2.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Okay, y'all know how like Leviathans,
They're
the
bad.
max light will be like, I mean minimum light to do
Yeah,
the raid
it
will be like
tones you
230,
down.
right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, but even though you could be like 700 light level in that game, your light level only affects you in that raid up until 350 light. Meaning no matter how high of a light you are, you could be 750. You're
Right.
only gonna be as powerful as a guy who's 350 light.
Okay, that's cool.
That
That's
could be
cool.
something could do for controlling zones, so people can't just slaughter. Like, imagine there's something where people are just grinding out in that area. They're not just completely OP.
One of the
Yeah,
things
so
I
I was
like
looking at it's similar to what Guild Wars 2 does, which that's kind of one of the things I was looking at for Guild Wars 2. How they have zone level areas and they scale you based off of what the average level is.
I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they
one of
still
the
want to
things
go
I like-
down and not up though.
Yeah. So
Skill should be more.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, your audio cut out.
Yeah, somebody's audio cut out real bad.
Was it mine?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I was gonna say, about that leveling stuff, one of the things I liked about EverQuest 2 was the ability to actually put yourself down to the newbies levels. and then you'd get a percentage of experience points you wouldn't normally get at that level.
Oh, I like that.
So
Yes, I
that
heard about that from I forget the game, but I was like, oh, that's smart.
Oh, so it gave you like a buff. Oh, I like
it makes the veterans want to go down to a lower level and help the newbies, because whereas you might have to grind the same boss 20 times to get the same experience, you can actually help new people in the story, and then it kind of gets.
But new players shouldn't be scaled up.
Also,
No, I don't plan on scaling up.
I think you guys
Players,
should
that would
take
be-
a lot of inspiration from D2, because in my opinion, Destiny has the best raids and / dungeons ever created in like any game. With the
Hey,
puzzles.
can you guys hear me?
I think that's a stretch.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, it's a stretch, but like,
There's
there's,
Aiden.
I think you could take some inspiration from it.
Like they're good, but
I want to give you a heads up on level scaling, though. I know if you looked at the Orbis forums, like I used to play that game like an absolute ton, did all the endgame raids, all that. And if you look at the forums, the largest thing that people were always complaining about in the forums was level scaling. Like a lot of people also didn't like that either. So I think the implementation of giving someone a benefit of coming down and helping them, I think that's a good way to do it. But just straight up level scaling. If you check out Orbis' forums, man, they talk about it all the time how like a lot of people left and they just didn't like level scaling too much because
I'm one of the salty ones.
Yeah, there's no progression of power, right? So like you want to come back to an area that used to kick your ass and just kick the shit out of it, and be like, yeah, I feel much stronger now, and the progression.
And see, that's what I was talking about. When we were talking about it during last Tavern Talk, I was saying, well, yeah, I want it to be more like World of Warcraft, where you can just place high-level critters that kind of block a zone, so you have.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Well, what
Yeah,
you
I
could
like
also
high-level
do,
guys.
what you could. One second.
Well, they said it's all stat-based gear. Like you could just change your gear to a lower level stat gear, right?
Yeah.
What
was that?
You could just have a thing to toggle it on and off, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And that would
do
be
like a buddy system. So like if you're teamed up with lower level people, it scales you to the lowest person.
Oh no, you can choose to do that.
Like Orbis doesn't have a thing where you can toggle it off.
No,
do
you're
something
stuck with it. I mean,
Who's watched Log Horizon?
So you're
Hey, that's me. That's me.
Oh, I love that. I love that sub skill. That idea of a sub skill.
Log Horizon, okay.
I mean,
Yeah, they
Log Horizon's
talked about-
great.
They talked about
I only want
stat-
Log Horizon was very good.
Specifically from it is like when you're grouped in a party, you have like the mentor system where it scales you down to the people that you're partied with, so that when you still go to the zone on your own, you can just be OP. But when you're partied with people below you, it'll scale you to it.
Yeah,
Well,
okay,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
so a party-based scaling system. Yeah, okay. Alright, cool.
He had the ability called teacher, or this subclass called teacher, and basically what that did was what allowed him to go down to the same level as people. Like
It
his
wasn't a skill; it was a system in the game.
What I would prefer to do is have it so that you had to go to a city or somewhere to get yourself leveled down, because if I was with a group which are low and we knew that was a really tough monster in the way, I'd just degroup, kill it, then group back up again and carry on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get.
Voice is too sexy.
Thanks.
You talked me into it. What are we doing?
I mean, the game isn't meant to be like. I don't think creatures are supposed to necessarily be like just a blocker, right? I don't know.
Yeah, but like what they were saying is it's more of like a stat off your like weapon and armor and stuff. So all you'd have to do is just switch out your armor to be.
Yeah, you could.
I just hate the idea of having to go all the way to town to do something.
Yeah, I don't
And
like
that may
that
be
idea,
something we use the
but
caravan
it makes
for.
sense.
Yeah, I mean you gotta implement the tavern so there's a social aspect of the taverns. Otherwise, people would just stand outside in the world.
And you're going to have to go somewhere to meet everybody to group up in the first place. A veteran's not going to wander around a newbie area looking for a group.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't really go grouping up with randoms.
Should be able to buy stuff at the tavern.
I just play with people I know.
How'd you get to know new people?
Yeah, I know what you mean though, and that's and it is a Western style MMO, so it is kind of made for single player.
Okay, I have one question
Like
about
usually I have
gameplay
groups of
mode.
friends per game, honestly.
Can you guys hear me?
I
Yeah.
usually
Yes,
meet
we
people in
can.
games.
Well, thanks for answering all my questions, even though I'm hogging up all the time, probably.
No, don't worry about it. Thanks for
I
asking.
asked like 50 questions. Thank you.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
I said hamburgers helpers.
All right, I've got a question about like loot. Like how
If you say
loot.
it enough, they'll implement it.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah.
How-
Where are you guys? You guys still in the Tavern Talk game mode or whatever?
Yeah. Am I still streaming or no?
No, you're not.
Because I just joined and I can't find you guys.
It's a single player.
Single player.
Yeah, I was confused too.
Alright.
I'm sitting on the hill looking at the caravan at the moment.
How will loot be reset? Like, let's say that someone finds a chest, and they open it, they take the loot from it, but then there's another person who just finds the chest again. Well, will the chest be open for that person? Will the loot reset after a while? How is the loot gonna reset? Or like loot on the floor for that people drop?
It is instanced.
So, the loot that I'm working on right now, and it'll still need testing. It started out as just instance based, but what I really like is the ability to loot something and then leave what you don't want for the rest of the party.
Right.
Or or just anybody to come up and grab it. So
Can you do a lotto system?
So like a loot rule system is what I'm currently.
Okay.
And you don't think that'll cause like issues and arguments between players?
Well,
that's
Ninja
what
might challenge you to
MMOs
name a
have.
better system than the loot roll
Well,
system.
what
that
Destiny
World of
2
Warcraft
does
has.
is per player loot, per player see different loot. But like, of course, that won't work in this game. But it's
Well,
just something.
I mean, but
Well,
like I think
Destiny
Orbis
2
has per player loot, and kind of the problem with that is like what happens if there's something that's really cool that's soulbound that drops that you had to grind for, and like a raid or a dungeon.
So,
but you already have it.
What about what people stealing loot though?
Yeah.
Do you guys? I mean, I'm sure you guys have raided in WoW, and you know how the loot works in that, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like you could have different loot systems, and then like have the party leader activate what kind of loot system they want, like group, like need before greed.
Oh
not
yeah, round robin. Yeah, exactly.
Round
yeah,
robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. It's just
That works really well. And
I mean, really,
it kind of
trademark.
decreases the amount of arguments that you have.
But this is also, this is also what alpha and beta is going to be for too. Is because it could be in the end that we decide that there is one perfect system that works for everything, and then we never have to worry about it outside of that. You know what I mean?
Plus, you guys want to make something unique, I bet.
Yeah.
They had a question about the PSVR tracking problem.
Oh, I almost made the nice.
The general
Oh yeah. There's actually a really simple fix for that. I don't know if you guys know this or not. They actually posted about it on Kotaku the other day. Get into the PC Master Race and get a Vive.
Vives are like $200. You could find them on eBay, dude.
That's crazy.
200 for a Vive? Are you kidding? Seriously?
Man, I was thinking
That's insane.
$900.
Like just a headset?
Well, for like a Vive headset and controllers, I found one for like downwards of $225.
Oh no, you can totally find that cheap. And then pro life tip: tell Steam you're working on a game, and they'll send you a pair of knuckles.
Also,
I'm more pro-choice, but
PlayStation.
Oh my god.
They did a patent for a Knuckles type controller. Although it's
Who
a
did?
patent, so
Oh, yeah, they made a
knows?
patent-
PlayStation did Knuckles controller patent.
oh yeah.
I just hope. Okay, listen. All that stuff is cool, but as long as they have a damn joystick, that's all I care about.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I
The
have a few
joysticks.
questions.
Oh, there's no joystick on the patent.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering all my questions, Aiden.
Yeah, cool. So we're gonna take one
And
more
whoever.
question. Somebody else has one more, and then we're gonna end it after this.
I mean, Team 21.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I really, yeah. Thank you. Just so real quick before everybody leaves, thank you guys. Like again, thank you.
Dude,
It's another
thank
great month.
you.
Like you guys have been blowing it out of the water with the support. Like,
Yeah, I only gave you $10.
well, $10 towards
here to
two
stay.
$5 meals.
But if we 10 people give him $10, that's like $100.
And if 1,000 people gave us $10, that's like
That's so much
10
round.
bucks.
That's like a lot. That's like money.
That checks
Yeah,
out.
$10 million.
You could buy like 10 Valve indexes.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Sure, that sounds
And
right.
not to mention the people that like give more than $10 on their Patreon.
No, that shit's that shit's like crazy.
They could like
Like
pay their employees with that money. Like, make new games.
literally
When I spent the $10 10 minutes ago, that paid someone's hourly wage. So
Yeah, I'm like, no
We don't
joke,
know
I
how.
just-
Well, you know
I
what's
just-
cool is like seriously though, like money aside, like that, like just the amount of like boost it gives to our self-esteem for all this.
Mhm.
That
Ego.
more than anything, that's like that means so much to us because like there are times that it's like if it goes a while and we can't talk to you guys because we're contractually obligated not to say what's been happening with us, like we kind of it's kind of depressing after a while because it's like, well, we haven't told anybody, like there's nothing to tell, there's nothing we can tell, or like with the trailer and the Kickstarter, there's a lot we can't talk about because we don't I mean we could tell you guys everything, but then there's no surprise anymore, there's no wow factor anymore.
Wow.
And not just that, like
You'll always have my wow factor, baby.
I think Xander, we were talking about making an Owen Wilson gun, right? Where it just went pow, pow,
Wow.
pow.
That'd be pretty cool.
Pow. Give it like a really crappy bowl haircut. Pow.
Dude, I want a bowl cut, please, for the character creation. I want a bowl cut.
Dude, no, like a 2 foot tall bowl cut, like.
Can
Oh,
I
man.
like
We'll have this conversation.
party in the front? No, business in the front, party in the back, dude.
So sorry, I think somebody had a question real quick. Somebody had a question. We'll take one last one.
I didn't know. I just joined like 2 minutes ago, so I don't know if it was already asked. But for the character creation, can you have like more than one character on one account? Like for example, if I like log into Ilysia and I create 2 characters, like before I like go into the world, I can choose like, oh, I want to use my like human mage or my like
Multiple characters.
Yeah, there's going to be a character selection screen with, and you can choose which character you want.
That was an awesome description.
Okay.
Multiple.
Yo, let me hop on my alt.
Someone's trying to figure if they can gold farm or not.
I thought I saw a voice.
Hey, when is this? Where's this video gonna be at of the Tavern Talk?
So
It's
because
on
my
YouTube.
recording got messed up, hopefully Xander's is going to be good enough, and then
Yeah, I guess
I'm
I should
sure.
stop
Has anybody else been recording so far?
I recorded the whole thing.
Who is this?
Nervly.
Oh, cool. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, totally.
So this is probably going to be the best.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot wait till we can get an office in town and have actual internet, so we never have to deal with this
Oh
again.
yeah, that's gonna be cool.
It's going to be amazing.
So I'm not.
You guys will have like an office.
Like we already joking, but
We're not an indie
honestly,
company
like,
that has that's actually like a studio. We're just
we are not like the indie company. It's like,
No
man,
Man's Sky devs.
we
You're a
felt
team.
like we're indie in the sense that we only have $100,000 to work with between like individually. Like we're like, I think our business account right now is like overdrawn. Like, I mean, we are super indie.
But it's pretty it's pretty indie AF. I mean that's what mine and Arthur's initials, so
it is
AF. I don't know. Okay.
What's his name?
Hamburger helper glove.
What was that?
What's his?
Why do you keep bringing that up, man?
Sorry, I can't hear your question.
Are we talking with a smiley face and everything?
Exactly. Yeah. Everything.
What if
Is
we
that
just
the
made it?
latest
What if we
high
just made it
school
like a
meme?
pet that followed you around with little shoes?
Oh,
Hamburger helper.
Walks around on the
want
2
a hamburger
fingers.
helper mount.
Make sure you put the TM copyright.
Can we just say like
You
hamburger
can't say we
helper
put
has
it there.
tons of carbs?
Yeah.
Hot
Or you
dog
never
helper.
know.
Hot dog helper.
All right, I'm gonna go. Peace out.
Guys,
Have a good one, dude.
Team 21 and
Take
everyone
it easy,
else.
guys.
Later.
Take it easy.